Hi, my name is Jessica Stradian from Arctic 360. I wanted to maybe follow up on Scott Minard, your last comments. So in Canada, and we're talking about infrastructure, and infrastructure, we need to build it today for tomorrow. It's pretty much a clean slate, and what's required is, and you were even talking to the tune of $1 trillion. This is obviously something that goes well beyond what federal governments can provide. And so I've been working with others in the north, and we're trying to find ways to bring the financial communities on, to educate them and teach and talk to them about opportunities for investment in the north. But because getting back to this idea about thinking about tomorrow's technologies for today, so we know in the future, so if we're going to build a new transportation system, we don't want to build a 20th century transportation system. And the future of infrastructure and the things that move around infrastructure is about smart technologies and driverless, and energy saving and alternative energy kind of products. And I'm wondering if you see in a possibility even of attracting people from the tech sector, and there might be a niche for the tech sector to want to invest in northern infrastructure.
Well, am I on? Oh, there I think you're absolutely right. I think the vision for Arctic infrastructure has to be aspirational. It can't be, a look back to the 20th century. It has to be a look forward to the next century, which we have a fair amount of time until. As far as the tech sector, I think you bring up a really good point. I have never thought of it before, but I think we should try to work to bring some of the leaders from the tech sector, such as Elon Musk, who might be a little eccentric, but nonetheless has been very visionary and has achieved a lot of great things. But in terms of next year's Arctic Circle, perhaps we can invite some of those people to participate, because I think it would be good to have them sit in a room and really understand these issues. I think most of them haven't even focused on it, but yet at the same time, climate change is a big issue for them, and they can, I think, help address this in a responsible way. By the way, if you are looking for investments, please call Guggenheim. We're interested in talking.
Next question.
Thank you. Hi, Rocky Whites, Fletcher School, Director of Maritime Studies. One thing about sustainable shipping, it's always better if you carry products both ways. And one idea would be to do more connections between the Arctic and tropical areas producing, say, sustainably grown agricultural products, where you're exporting some of the say, sustainable avocados from Colombia north to the northern economies and seafood to the south. I just wanted to see what you thought of that.
More? Are you asking me? Okay, this is the key to our business. It's to have not an empty turn on a container. So we are constantly working on this. Trying to move water to the south or fish and getting products to the north. And so this is something we are constantly looking at, but if there was some kind of web-based information where people are actually asking for trades like this to convert. We did this in the old days. We put herring to Russia and we got oil from them. So maybe we have to go back a little 30, 40 years to think like they did in the old days. But this is something that we are constantly thinking of, trying to make those things happen, because the cost of bringing a container, actually the customer would have to pay for it coming empty back, if not.
If I may comment on that, that's of course the idea about, behind the idea about the transshipping hubs, and with getting the possibility to sail over the Arctic and shorten the time and the emission by 40% and have a shipping hub, for instance, in Iceland, in the northeast of Iceland, then this idea is of course possible. But I just want to make very few comments or remarks on Scots Maynard that tomorrow is now, and Iceland have this Paris Agreement, which we are going to get through, and we have some 34 measures that we are going to do. A lot of them is in transport and energy shift. And actually, our fishery float already had made this 40% decrease already now, today. It's due to two things: newer ship, better machines, utilizing the oil better. And secondly, the quota system in Iceland, which have helped us to build up the stocks, so it's easier to get out and fish them in a sustainable way. And the same thing we are going to do on land. And of course, new ferries, they have to be driven by electricity, and that we are aiming to. And of course, we have also to put a ban on black carbon and black oil or heavy oil in Arctic seawaters. And we have to do it quicker than tomorrow or next year.
So we are out of time. I would like to thank the speakers on this plenary session, Arctic Transport Dialogue, and sorry that we didn't have more time for questions. Someone said tomorrow never comes, but I liked your version better. Tomorrow is now. But thank you all.